This is what a normal 365XL grip looks like. I think they did a phenomenal job with the design, making it as small as possible. But if you want to upgrade this and make it a little bit more shootable, that's what I'm going to show you today. The reason you might want to do that, so I have small hands. I wear a size medium glove and my fingers are already almost fully wrapped around this grip. What that means is I'm driving in that support hand. There's not really a lot of gap for my support hand to really grind and get some friction against the frame. So this is what I have created, and I'm going to show you exactly how I have achieved this. And what this does is it gives you a little bit of front to back, right? So it makes the grip a little bit wider for you guys that have bigger hands. It also opens up this area right here in the middle so you can really drive and wedge the back of that support hand in, get a lot of friction against the gun to give you better recoil control, able to track that dot better, get faster, more accurate hits. The materials needed for this are very easy. You're going to need a Dremel for the beaver tail. You're going to need a little bit of athletic tape from Academy, and I'll show you exactly the one that I got. And you're gonna need some bicycle inner tube. I'm gonna take all this off and reapply it on camera to show you what it looks like. All right, first thing you're gonna do, obviously make sure the gun's clear, lock it to the rear, remove the magazine, all the fun things. I'm gonna go ahead and take all this off and I'll show you exactly the dimensions you need to measure, as well as how to wrap it so that it's not going to interfere with the magazine release, and you get the perfect amount of width where you have a tiny little bit of room from this mag well, and it gives you just enough to be able to really wrap and grind that support hand in. Step one, I went ahead and got the bicycle inner tube off. I wanted to show you this before I took this guys off. The reason that I have the bicycle inner tube, this portion is to add width and make the grip a little bit fatter, but the material is not quite grippy enough for me. I prefer not just the bicycle inner tube because it doesn't make the grip quite thick enough just by itself, but the bicycle inner tube adds a level of friction that I have not felt on any other type of grip material. So I just wanted to throw that in before I get this off. All right, so like I said, double check, make sure the gun is totally clear. I actually like to leave the slide on when modifying this grip because it makes it a little easier, minus the Dremel. So first things first, with this Dremel job, the only reason I do this versus the stock beaver tail, you can see the difference. I'm rolling in some B-roll. Which makes it a little bit easier when you're drawing from appendix to slide that thumb over the back of the slide. Makes it a little less painful. And so that's all you got to do is just take a file or a Dremel and just file off that beaver tail a little bit. So now we're going to go into the grip modification. So we have measured right about here, right about 15 inches of this athletic tape. I actually ended up doing it in 2 segments because I was playing around with how thick I wanted it, but if I were you, I would just do it in 1 segment. So the first thing you're gonna do is make sure you're not getting interference with that magazine release. And you wanna take the back edge, not just doing it flat, but you can do it high up at an angle. So it gets a little bit higher up. And then you're just gonna start wrapping it. You wanna go down to where it's not gonna interfere with the mag well. Actually go back a little bit. You can see I got a little folded up there. We don't want any folds in it or anything like that. And you're gonna go back and forth. It's okay if it touches the magazine release a little bit. I've found in my testing that's actually totally acceptable. It's not gonna block it off or anything like that. As long as it can still actuate, you can still push against that, no problem. All right, and then we're gonna take our second amount right there. We finished right about here. And we're gonna take this and go straight down. We got a little bit of a fold in there, so we'll go ahead and straighten that out. So there you go, guys. We have our initial grip is now formed, right? As you can see, my magazine release is able to still be moved. It's not a big deal at all. So now this is the fun part. We're gonna go ahead and get this bicycle inner tube over this. The bicycle inner tube gives us a little bit more friction than just the athletic tape alone. For this portion, it's just, you gotta just go to war with this stuff, honestly. I like to start from the back, push it over the front like so. And now that's your initial starting point. It gets only more fun from here. So you just got to start working that and making sure it doesn't get too folded up or anything like that. So you can push over your opening. That's going to make it easier, and you can readjust it once you have it on the grip fully. You just got to start pulling that bicycle inner tube up and over, getting it set exactly where you like it. When you're measuring how much bicycle inner tube to cut, I just start at the mag well, and then I just made sure that unstretched, it didn't go above the line of the magazine release, because it's obviously going to stretch in this dimension when you pull it on up. That way we don't want, the little bit of athletic tape is not going to be a problem with actuating the mag release, but the bicycle inner tube will if it's too high and too covering up. I've also found that you don't really need it that high, because that support hand, most of it is getting wedged up in there right there. And so there you have it, guys. This definitely doesn't look quite as pretty as the first one I did, but it doesn't matter. It's functionally the exact same. It gives you the extra width on the grip over the standard. You can go ahead and see that right there, just how much wider it is this direction, and then you can see front to back as well, just how much wider it is, giving my hand the ability to have a better master grip on the gun, as well as much better ability to lock that support hand in to the gun. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that the tip was useful. Got to give credit where credit's due. I originally saw this idea of combining the athletic tape with the bicycle inner tube from Mike Pannone over at CTT Solutions, so go ahead and give him a follow if you're over on Instagram. As always, at the end of my videos, I like to give an offer. I was not always a Christian. I was raised in a Christian household, but I kind of left the faith when I was in college until I was led back and read the Bible for myself, cover to cover. So that's something I like to extend to as many people as I can. I've just got to send out a few Bibles this past week, which was really cool. If you shoot me an email at my email below, I will send you one to a family member, a friend, or you if you're wanting to read it for the first time. Basically just organizes it in a chronological fashion, making it significantly easier to read if you have been looking to read the Bible from cover to cover. I think everyone should, whether you're a Christian or not. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching the video. Get out there, train hard, stay safe.